Hi guys, so I know this video is super late, but I've just been really busy with school and everything. Yeah, sorry this is so late. I'm gonna try to make these more on time, but yeah, no promises. So anyways, this is my Degrassi review, and yeah. So, the episode starts off with Zoe talking to this group of girls, and she's like, "Oh yeah, Drew's totally my date." And, Maya and Miles actually came up and heard her say that, and then they were like, "What about his girlfriend?" And she's like, "What girlfriend?" I thought that was really funny how she didn't even know he had a girlfriend. I mean, you can tell she doesn't know from the last episode, but I just thought it was funny because I was like, yeah, you're going around telling people, "Oh, I'm totally going with Drew Torres to the dance," and everybody except you knows he has a girlfriend. Well, fiance. Um, I thought the tension between Allie and Jenna was like really awkward, I guess, because they're just like looking at each other, and they're not even talking, and Claire's in the middle, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. I would feel awkward about as Claire, because they're just giving each other death glares and everything, and I'm just like, okay. But I thought it was funny how Drew didn't have like anything done for the dance. I mean, yeah, he had decorations, probably posters around the school, but he didn't have any like the important stuff. He didn't have the security, the food, or anything, and I just thought it was funny when Simpson was like, I guess Claire's taking care of that, and Claire has nothing to do with this dance because, Drew didn't even consent with her about it. But yeah, it's just like, you can't. I mean, he didn't even have the food done. I'm like, how are you gonna have a dance and you don't have the food done, you don't have the music done? Just, yeah. I thought, I don't know, I'm kind of conflicted about Zoe. I think I like her, but at the same time I don't, because I don't like her attitude and how she treats people, and she just thinks she's so much better. And but I do like her because she's so evil, and I don't know, I kind of like that about her. Um, and I do feel bad for her, even though I probably shouldn't because she did this all to herself, but I feel bad for her because, she's like, she doesn't know anyone at school, and, Drew totally dumps her for his date. I thought it was funny how he hit her over the head. It was just like rude, but really funny. Yeah. And then, they cut to Allie and Leo, and Allie studying or whatever, and my first thought was Allie's parents actually let him in, her room. I mean, obviously, they're not there because he wouldn't be allowed up in her room. I don't think, since her parents have always been strict since the beginning. But yeah, it was just like, okay. And, I felt bad that Leo didn't want to go to the dance with Allie because, he felt like her friends were going to judge him, which they already have for good reason. And for a second, like, a few seconds during this episode, I felt like he was going to explode. I was like, when Allie was like, yeah, and I told him he gave me bruises. And he was like, what? And I was like, oh my gosh, I hope he doesn't, like, explode or anything. But I'm kind of glad he said that. I don't know how to explain that, but I'm just like, well, Leo, you did give her bruises, and why wouldn't she tell her friends? And how couldn't she? They were visibly on her wrist, so I don't know. I thought it was really nice how Dallas was helping Drew, and yeah, I don't know. I kind of like, I don't know, this doesn't really go with their whole scene when, Drew was awake and Dallas was helping him and everything. This doesn't really go with the scene. But I really like Dallas and Allie together. I think they would be a really cute couple. Just saying. But yeah, and then, Drew, he's having a really tough time, planning everything and actually getting everything done. And Zoe comes up to him and she's like, hey, I have those sleeping pills you're talking about. Do you want some? And I thought Drew was so stupid for doing this. I was like, you actually took her bribe. Like, you actually took it. I didn't think he would take it. I mean, I guess he thinks people think they need it when you really don't, but I was so disappointed when he took them from her. Yeah. And my first thought, you know, when she was getting it, I was like, oh my gosh, Zayn, like, really? She's getting that from Zayn. Like, honestly, I forgot all about him until, you know, up until this point. But is it just me, or is his face, like, a little fatter? He's, like, I don't know. He's a little bulkier, I guess. And I don't know if it was just me. A lot of these are, like, weird observations, but I don't know if it was just me, but Drew's pills, which they probably were, they look like M&Ms. Like, they just look like little blue M&Ms to me, or maybe Skittles, I don't know. They look like candy to me, and I'm like, that's probably what it is, but I don't know, I just thought that was funny. I was like, yeah, they're totally pills when he's really just eating M&Ms or something. And yeah, then they cut off to the dance, which is lame right now since there's no music or anything. And, you know, Becky, you know, she's trying to make jokes, but it's like, oh my gosh. She's like, oh my gosh, I can't make a joke because everyone thinks I'm a church girl. Because, you know, she goes up to Dallas and she's just like, he's like, can you help me with the sound system? She's like, what are you talking about? Music is the devil's voice. And he's like, oh, I forgot. And she's like, I'm just kidding. And I'm like, her jokes are funny, but at the same time, I don't know. I guess I get why people don't take her jokes, like, actually in a joking way, but I thought it was pretty funny. And I thought it was really, well, I liked it and I didn't, the fact that Leo came, because I felt like if Leo didn't come, maybe Dallas could have danced with Allie, because I really like them together. I don't know. I'm very conflicted about the relationships this season. I don't know. I like Allie and Leo, but Dallas, like, with Allie is just so cute. He's so cute with her. I felt really bad for him, though, because, you know, Leo comes in, and Allie's like, oh my gosh, you showed up. And then you see Dallas in the background, and he's just like, you know, he's sad about it, of course, because he thought he was going to get an opening tonight, which I kind of thought he was too, but of course Leo has to show up, and, you know, he actually ends up helping Dallas, you know, do the whole sound check and everything, and I just thought that, you know, Leo was gonna, I don't know, he was gonna explode or something, so, yeah, you know, then Allie and Leo actually go over and they sit with, Claire, Jenna, and Connor. And, you know, they're all just like, ew, Leo, like, get away from me. You know, they're not talking to him or anything. And, oh my gosh, Connor is just so, he really doesn't have a filter, I guess. He's just like, I'm not supposed to be warm to you. He's like, Leo's just like, oh, really? Like, I don't know. I feel like, which of course, you know, this has to happen, but I feel like Leo is going to do something bad this season because he has, throughout this episode, he's had like those little tendencies of anger, those little tips of anger. I don't know how to say that, but yeah, so that's foreshadowing, I guess, that he's going to explode again, which I just hope it's not worse. I hope it's equal or less destruction, preferably less, much less, like no destruction at all. Yeah, and I thought it was, I thought it was nice that Claire actually accepted to dance with Leo, which I didn't think she was, which she kind of gave in too easily if they're supposed to be ignoring him. But, you know, Claire is always the peacemaker. She's always trying to keep the peace, so of course she accepted to dance with Leo, and, you know, then Jenna warms up to him, and, you know, he passed the friend test, thankfully, so, you know, Allie doesn't have to be, I guess Allie and Jenna don't have to be angry towards each other. And oh my gosh, when Drew walked into the dance, you know, because Zoe picked him up and everything, he looked so out of it, like you just tell in his face that something was wrong with him and he had taken too much of something, because he just looked out of it. And then he started hallucinating, and I felt bad for Zoe and I felt bad for him, because I'm like, okay, great, he's about to embarrass himself, because, you know, from the previews, and Zoe, she just embarrassed herself, because he was, like, calling her Claire and everything, you know, Maya and Miles were laughing at her, and, yeah, I mean, how can you not feel bad for Zoe? I mean, you can, but I feel bad for her a lot. I don't know. I know I shouldn't, but I do. And And I felt really bad for Drew because, you know, as soon as he fell into the pool, he was conscious again. But also my thinking was, if all it took was some water in his face, or, you know, some cold water, anybody could have done that. I mean, that's kind of the first thing you do with someone, right? Like, when they're out of it, you just pour some water on their face. I don't know. Maybe that's only on TV. But, yeah, I was just like, that was so easy just to knock him out of it. Kind of wish he would have stayed in it. Or, I don't know. I just thought it was too easy for him to come back to normal. And I just thought it was really weird because I'm like, how come Claire is the only one who actually cares? Everyone else is like, ha ha ha, oh my gosh, Drew's so funny, best president ever. And Claire's the only one who's actually thinking something's wrong with him. Maybe he needs help. Like, I would have been thinking like, Claire, I don't understand. I mean, I guess I would have been laughing too. But I still would have thought something was wrong with him, and I don't understand why everyone thought he was joking. Like, I don't know. I can't remember anything, but I don't think Drew would actually just take off his clothes in front of the student body. I mean, yeah, he wants to be the cool president, but Drew doesn't do that. He has a fiance, which is Bianca, and it's like, you know, he doesn't do that anymore. He's growing up, or supposed to be. But yeah, and then, you know, Maya goes over to Zoe, and she's like, I'm really sorry, you know, I didn't mean to laugh, and I actually want to be your friend, which I know it. I said this in my other review, I think, but, yeah, I was like, I knew Maya wanted to make amends with Zoe because the way she looked at her and in the last episode, looked like she felt bad for her. And, for a second, for like a split second, I was like, oh my gosh, Zoe's actually accepting her apology, and I'm like, it's too good to be true. I was like, never mind, I don't know why I even thought that, because obviously she's just deceiving her. And I feel bad because Maya's such a sweetheart, and Zoe's such a not a nice person, so I was like, this is not going to end well. She's just trying to get close to Maya, you know, just to sabotage her, obviously, which, I mean, I know Maya wants to make friends with her, but I hope Maya keeps her distance at the same time. Like, I hope Maya's smart enough to not just think that Zoe actually wants to be friends with her. Yeah, and then, you know, Claire goes, and she finds Drew, you know, she helps him and everything. She's like, are you okay? She talks to him. And, you know, he kind of just, again, he breaks down because of Adam's death, and, you know, he's just like, I need time and everything. And, you know, of course, that makes perfect sense. And I thought it was really funny, because she's like, yeah, so what do you want to get? He's like, yeah, I'm really tired, so I'm just gonna sleep in your lap, Claire. And Claire's just like, Drew, like, get up. And I'm like, well, Claire, you did go to comfort him, you know? He's really tired. But yeah, so lots of foreshadowing into what's to come this season. Fakeness from Zoe, predictable, but, you know, Drew dealing with Adam's death, and whatever else comes his way. I'm not really sure what else they can do to Drew at this point. He's already had a lot of girl problems and a lot of his own problems. I don't know. But I'm really, really hoping that this season, Allie gives Dallas a chance. Like, she has to. Because Leo is going to screw up. Like, there's no way he can't. Unless he's, like, really careful about it, or unless Allie just doesn't tell anyone about him being abusive. But eventually, it'll come out. So then her and Dallas can be together. And, yeah, I just really, really, really want them to be together. Because they're really cute. Yeah. No other thoughts. So, thanks for watching. Toodles!